but you've been in the industry, as you said, for like 20 years or more. We won't give away your age in that. You're now obviously at a point in time where you're doing amazing work in the world, mastering both, the vehicle of let's say your business and what your business fluid intellect does together with mastery of self, right? And having those worlds coming together. So having been sort of in the industry, watching the trajectory, what are some of the things, let's start with this, where are you seeing some lack in change where corporate space or the industries or, just sort of businesses need to still involve? Where are you seeing lack of change when you look at these places of inclusivity, diversity, the things that you struggled with in terms of breaking some of the glass ceilings for yourself, whether it's the undermining, the mistrust, the bullying, etc.? And then, on the back of that, let's talk around where have you seen some really positive change, in corporate and across the industry, and curious to hear from you
Yeah.
around those two topics.
Okay. I think one of the areas that I still haven't seen change are the cliques, the clubs. And there was a point in time where there were just boys' clubs, Now you find that it's boys and girls' clubs, men and
Mm.
women, but you still have the clique. So if you're part of this clique, if you're part of this group of people, then you're acknowledged and you're seen. And if you're a career driven person who wants to be seen and who wants to make a positive change, you've got to go to this clique, this club, and try and earn your way into that. That's got nothing to do with a value system. It's got to do with, are they going to accept me for who I am? And if they don't, you have to become who they want you to become in order to fit in. I cannot stomach that. I could not, and that's why I made some of the choices that I've made, because I cannot give up my individuality just so that I can advance in my career. It's not, I feel that it's unfair. So those are the parts that I haven't seen change yet, and I really hope that it will change as time goes on. What I have seen change in a positive way, though, has been for us females. As much as we could, speak about women empowerment, and there's a lot more that can be done. However, I have seen a really strong shift. I've seen leaders step up for women, both male and female. I've seen that the woman leadership role is no longer awarded as the booby prize. It's like, okay, let's make sure all the important roles are filled and give that one to her. Let her, now we've got a woman. Hi.
Yeah.
So I've seen that there's been an intentional change in industry, and I've been in meetings where I've seen both male and female leaders give women the floor and trust female leaders a lot more, and a lot more respect being given to females in the workplace. I'll give you one bad example as well. I was working at one of the banks. I've worked at all of the banks, but I was at a bank a couple of years ago. It was close to like about 2006, but I was a junior developer, and there was male leadership. And one of the senior leaders, or it was a team leader, he was a team leader, but he always felt that it was okay to make inappropriate jokes, whether we were present or not, but it was always jokes about females, and it was always jokes about women. And I complained to to my manager about it, and my manager said two things to me, and he was like, well, firstly, that's just how guys are. But more than that, he's just an idiot. Just ignore him. He's probably never going to change. Just ignore him and try not to be in his company. And I was like, okay, no problem. That's what I'll do. But afterwards, I've started seeing that the industry themselves have decided that's not okay. So even though I accepted it as I'll just avoid him. I didn't raise my voice about it any further. I didn't try to fight about it. But now what I've noticed is that leaders themselves are stepping up and saying, guys, we should not be making, certain statements about whether male or female. We should all just be respecting ourselves. So I've started seeing a lot more respect coming through, and
Mm,
not this kind of disrespectful behavior that used to exist in the workplace. And females are being given a lot more opportunity. It's easy for me to
mm,
speak as a female because I've
mm,
been
mm,
in those shoes. But yeah, and I welcome it. It might be, some people
beautiful.
might feel that it's slow, but it's better slow. Slow growth is better than no growth.
Mm. And I mean, where would you see it sort of evolving to? Where does it now need to, to move the needle to the next level? What, in your view, is going to move the needle? As a second last question to you, we've had a lot of your time, but yeah, what's going to move the needle going forward?
Where it makes no difference what gender you are, male or female.
Mm,
And especially
mm,
with the salary brackets as well, the pay scales. If you do research, you find that males earn slightly more than females in the same role. This is research that's out there, so we're not being biased about it, but I think it just needs to get to a point where we're all just seen as even for our contribution that we're making, not because of who we are. Um, and I think this gender bias needs to just go down the drain. There is an individual who is really good at what they do, and so they are worthy of being properly remunerated, irrespective of gender or whatever else you want to put on it. Let's just be
mm,
fair about it. I think the industry needs to move in that direction across industries. Because I find IT is actually starting to become more fair. But I was reading an article not so long ago about the finance sector and the unfairness in that sector as well. So I think just in general, the world has changed. And
mm,
I wrote a small paragraph about it in that blog as well. It says there was a time when females were not the breadwinners. We were not the ones who got up and went to work, but that was over 1,000 years ago, maybe. I don't know how many years it's been, 100 years ago, whatever. But I mean, guys, we've evolved now. Women are breadwinners. Women, so it doesn't have to be that way anymore, where there's an imbalance. So that's what I'd really like to see changing, and
right.
just fairness across all dimensions.